Listen to this. All right. Shh, 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 shh. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a binder opening up. A nice big 12 pocket. This is a huge binder and it's for a huge set, Shiny Star V. Every time I make one of these videos, right before I finish publishing them and putting them up there, the one thing I do is go back and buy the cards that I'm missing from the set. This is supposed to be a master set of Shiny Star V, but I haven't finished it because I don't know. We'll see once we go through it, the annoying cards that I'm missing from it. Yeah, Shiny Star V, this was probably the set that kicked off Japanese Pokemon card collecting for a lot of people around the world. And I guess fueled by that Shiny Charizard V and Shiny Charizard VMAX, because when this set dropped, that was the earliest you were able to get him. And it dropped in the midst of all that crazy Pokemon hysteria, November 20th, 2020. So Shiny Star V, for a lot of Japanese card collectors, was the first set that they got onto. Basically Hidden Fates 2. Not as good as Hidden Fates or the Japanese Ultra Shiny GX, but it's still pretty good. I look back on Shiny Star V and the memories I made, and I guess the cards in it very, very fondly. So we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna show you which cards I've got, which I'm missing. I like this set a lot because it's a good representation of Sword and Shield, an early Sword and Shield sets. You've got so many different cards here from so many different artists. You've got HYOGONOSUKE, Mitsurarita, Souchirou Gunjima with the Decidueye. I always did love this card a lot. The Galissapod. You got so many, like on this page alone, Naoki Saitou, Kouki Saitou. It is basically an all-stars set. You're getting arguably the most popular Pokemon and the best artists, because probably 2020 onwards is when a lot of different Japanese artists started getting commissioned, and you were seeing huge variety in illustrations, whether it was commons, uncommons, V and VMAXs. One thing that I noticed, I quickly did a little look through this set before I started the video. Stuff like Lapras V. Now I'm hoping Lapras V gets, and Lapras VMAX too, gets like an alternate art illustration in V-Star Universe. I'm kind of speculating that it will, but even Lapras V, like the original version, just the plain V version, you can see here, just a really nice illustration by Hasuno. And a lot of people were saying like, oh, you know, the latest sets that have been coming out this year, they've really stepped up with like the V and VMAX illustrations. But for the most part, a lot of sets in the early Sword and Shield block were pretty good. For some reason, they just didn't commission those artists all the time, and I kind of wish they did. You did get some really nice cards in early Sword Shield, and then they got reprinted in Shiny Star V. Because in case you didn't know, Shiny Star V is a set that introduces a few new cards, not a whole lot in the normal base set, but also introduces or reprints like very playable cards. I just bumped the camera. It introduced actually these amazing rares. No, it didn't introduce them. It continued them. The amazing rares started in Legendary Heartbeat, but we did get 3 new ones, and that's one thing that I kind of wish, I guess, Shiny Star V expanded upon. It was kind of limited by the fact that only one energy type or one type of energy per Pokemon was getting an amazing rare when amazing rares came out. So this was the only fire type amazing rare, the Reshiram. But I kind of wish that this set had more amazing rares in it. Similar to GX Tag Team All-Stars, how you got so many different Prism Stars, like there's those black Prism Star cards in it. I wish that this set had a few more amazing rares. It just would have added a little bit more variety to it. You did get like 1 or 2 of these per box, which was pretty cool, but it kind of made them worthless. If you're collecting purely for worth on modern, I'm actually kind of want to make a video talking about modern cards and the crazy prices in a little bit. But if you're collecting purely for price on modern, you're gonna have a bad time. But these are like, they're like almost fodder. The art and the cards are fantastic, but you got so many of them. There are so many of these circulating about. You got the Kyogre here, that they're not as valuable as you would think they would be. I guess they're not as valuable as their English counterparts, which are a little harder to find. These are far and away the better version of them, and like you can see, just that's incredible. Like they look so good in the Japanese print, and I always loved finding them because they're so colorful. Like they're just very fun cards. This one's by Anesaki Dynamic. I also really liked how you got like the A different emblem in the corner of it. That was really cool. These cards didn't get a whole lot of play. They weren't viable at the time. I think the Reshiram is actually a pretty good card now. It's gonna see a little bit of play in some rogue decks. So keep your eye out if you've got Reshirams in your collection from, when did Reshiram come out? Did it come out in Vivid Voltage or did it come out in Champions Path? If you've got some Reshirams in your collection, hold on to them. But there's some really good cards here. I always really liked the Scorbunny by Mizue. This was an absolute banger. Sorry, not the Scorbunny, the reboot. This was probably one of my favorite cards. There's an awesome reboot as well. I think it's in Chilling Rain or Jet Black Poltergeist. I think it's by Naoki Saitou. Anyway, I really like Reboot has got some pretty good cards in this block. Too bad fire type Pokemon aren't the best. It's all about water types. You got the really nice Suicune here by Sortaro. Damn, are we gonna do this again? Because the last time I made one of these videos, I was like, you know what? This is gonna be quick and easy. And then I ended up just sitting here talking about Pokemon cards for about 40 minutes. Granted, I did go through 3 different sets in that video, but every time you see a card that you haven't looked at for a while, and that's why I like putting cards in a binder. You know, when you see a card you haven't looked at for a while, you pop open your binder, and then you have another little gaze at it. You find like a new appreciation for the set and the art, and it's just, I don't know, you look back on the memories. I'm kind of like nostalgic like that. Like I have a bad habit of getting nostalgic over Pokemon cards. I'm like, damn, 2020, those were the good old days. Nice Cramorant here by Mitsuda. If this is a little bit too bright, I'm utilizing, well, that's very bright. We'll put it down one. I'm utilizing natural light in this video because I haven't fully set up the new studio, which is something I got to get onto. But damn, there's some really good cards in this set. The Snom, this is a classic. I think everyone was this the first time we saw this Snom? I feel like it was, because Snom sitting on a bench, on a park bench, is just like, it's a vibe. Oh, I got a little bit stuck there. Sometimes that happens with side loading binders. Yeah, Snom on a bench. Like, that's it. Do I need to say any more? Snom on a bench. That's it. Take it. There's a shiny in this set. Oh, you guys probably know that too. There is a whole, like, basically is it every Pokemon? No, it's not every Pokemon. It's not every card in the base set that gets a shiny. I think it's just a few. Maybe it's commons. You know what? I should have probably done my research before I started filming this video. I really like the Toxel as well. Akira Komiyama, another banger card. Like I could go through each one of these cards and just talk about how good they are. Toxel and purple. It's kind of a hard color palette to work with. You're very limited in the other colors that you use in the illustration. Luckily, green goes well with purple, so you got a nice little forest and a little lake behind there with the mountains. It's just I don't know, it's just cute. It doesn't always have to be, that's the thing with like starter or first stage Pokemon, like they don't always have to be doing something crazy hectic. They can just be cute. And that's, I guess, how I like my stage ones. I like them just looking like, hey, look at that. It's a cute little Pokemon. The Yamper as well. Like, do I need to go on? You got Michael Bolton. The Rotom's really good here. That's by Ryomu Tsuga. I can't remember if that was a new card in this or whether it was a reprint from another set, but yes, it is just lovely. Oh, this has got the really nice Ghastly as well. I pointed at the horn when I said that, but you got the nice Gengar as well, but she was all like, that's just a banger. This whole set just absolutely went hard. And you know, you got mainly every single card from it after about 2 or 3 boxes. I feel like if you didn't, you were very unlucky. Although having said that, a friend of mine wanted Clefairy and I had to basically dig through, I think, about 30 boxes of Shiny Star V that I'd opened up. This is really nice, by the way, Taira Akitsu. I know they got a very fond recollection of when they first started drawing Pokemon cards. I think they were very happy to draw this Ghastly. There is a story there if you go digging, but yes, I had to go find a Clefairy and give to a buddy, and it was the only Clefairy I had. So to replace the Clefairy in my master set, I had to go digging through massive amount of bulk. But I did open up a lot of Shiny Star V because I was trying to find that Charizard. The funny thing is, at the time I was trying to find that Charizard, and I think everybody was, because it was like, Charizard is the best card. Therefore, that is the chase card, and if you don't find Charizard, you are a failure and life is not worth living. So everyone was just going crazy trying to find the Charizard. Meanwhile, the Marnie, which was the full art, which we'll get to in a little bit, ended up being like the most sought after and the most valuable card from the set, like far and away. At the moment, Marnie, and I love this Gengar, by the way, it's by Shibuzo. I was always happy to find this Gengar in this set. But the Marnie, I don't know if you guys haven't seen, it's like a 500, 600 USD card now. I'd say, wait, the yen is very weak compared to the USD. So I'd say it's about 400 to 500 USD. Oh, really nice, the Dene. This is a banger too. This one is also by Shibuzo. So Shibuzo had a very good stint, I guess, in the early Sun and Moon, in the early Sword Shield block. Shibuzo had heaps of cards. And did they get it? Yeah, they did. They had the Moltres V, Galarian Moltres V special art. But this is a really, look at that. Look at the Dedenne. Just so many different colors. So cute. Absolute banger. And you get so many of these cards in Shiny Star V. So I don't know, like, I highly recommend you put your commons and uncommons in a binder so that you can go back and look at it in the way that I am and feel those feelings again. But maybe I'm just a little bit different. Not a big fan of fighting type Pokemon. I feel like most fighting types are just kind of I'm looking at here, nothing's really reaching out to me. I have always liked the Coughing here by Pani Kobayashi. This was always a card that I really liked seeing, and I feel like it just encompasses everything about Coughing. Like, it is looking sneaky. It looks like, I mean, I guess it is the poisonous gas. It is the gas Pokemon. So it looks like it's ripping a fart. And it looks like it's ripping a fart too. It looks like, hey, Lois. So I've always liked this Coughing. Pani Kobayashi. How many cards are they drawn? Not a whole lot, but they do frequently pop up every now and then in recent sets. So the Spinarak and the Ariados were really cool too. Crobat V is a massive staple in most decks. So you're basically going to see Crobat V in any high class set that reprints cards. Same with the Zigzagoon. That's basically a staple card. What else have we got here? Oh, we have the Voltel. So again, this is the last amazing rare that was in the set. And that's what I mean. I was a little bit disappointed that there was only 3 amazing rares printed in this. And I get, again, that the rest of them are in Legendary Heartbeat and they didn't want to print too many of them, but I feel like they could have. Like you see now with the Radiant cards, it's not limited to type. Like they just keep printing Radiants if they feel like you need a new Radiant. So you just keep getting them, which is cool. And I like that. Like I feel like if you're going to introduce like a new concept that is really cool and gets players excited and gets collectors excited too, that you should just maximize it instead of making it so limited. It's in this weird spot where like there are few different types. So the variety isn't very broad, but they're so common that they just become less special and doesn't feel that exciting when you find them. So it's this weird limbo spot for the cards. It doesn't take away from the fact that they look awesome, but they just ended up in this weird limbo. They're incredible. Like the colors is one thing, but the level of texture and the way that the texture overlaps, and then you've got the print on the card too. Like it is very unique to Japanese Pokemon cards. It's something that you just won't see. You just won't see at all when it comes to English cards and the English versions. I like the Toxicroak too, and the Krogunk. Very cool cards. I liked them a lot. And the Eternatus V, this is by 5-Barn Graphics. I feel like Eternatus V is a card that it just lends itself well to the 5-Barn style. Maybe because it looks less like a Pokemon and more like, how do I put this? Like it looks like an alien. Like it doesn't look like something that would have come from the Pokemon trading card game. It doesn't look like something from the world of Pokemon. It's not meant to be native, I guess. Does that make sense? So it lends itself well to 5-Barn style, which is like 3D CG graphics. And because it looks like a mech. That's basically it. Like it looks like a mech. So it's like, hey, perfect. That is basically right up the alley for any CG artist. I'm assuming so anyway. The Aiga Slash, I used to always, for some reason I used to get annoyed when I'd see that card. I don't know why. I don't know why. I was like, Aiga Slash, get that away from me. Ditto V and Ditto VMAX, these were cards that debuted in this set, and I think people were pretty excited about that, but no one really plays them. You got Zacian and Zamazenta too. Even just the base Zacian and Zamazenta artwork is really nice. This one's by Hideki Ishikawa, and you never really look at them. Like they just get overlooked because there's a V version of them. I know there's a really good Zacian V, or sorry, a Zacian rare that came out very recently. Maybe it's from Incandescent Arcana. I don't know, I haven't opened that set yet. I haven't done the Incandescent Arcana opening because I just don't want to do it until I get properly set up in this room. So for that reason, you have not seen it on this channel, but I will do it eventually. But this is a banger. But again, I feel like people overlook them because you've got the rares, you got the Vs in the set. People are just like, it's another rare, it's another rare. You'd get 2 rares per pack, so they kind of just become bulk in a sense. Yeah, I've always liked the Swanna actually. This is a really nice Swanna. Who's this by? I think, is this by Taira Akitsu? It is. This is a really nice Swanna. Swanna, it just sounds fun to say too, but the card is really good. Look at this. It looks like a swan. It looks like Swan Lake. They're just like, wow. He's really breaking down the intricacies of the Swanna card, and you can tell that this man's cultured when it comes to talking about illustrations. His description, the swan looks like a swan, and for that reason, it's a really good card. Congratulations, Taira Akitsu. You have nailed Swanna with your very swan-like illustration. I'm gonna move on because that is the Pokemon from the set. Then after that, you've got the trainers, and no one really cares about who's looking at the trainers and going, damn, I love me some trainer cards. Looking back on this set, having learned to play, there's some really good staples in it. Quick Ball, as he points to the Scoop Up Net, Evo Incense, Cappy Bucket, Tool Scraper. I think people get annoyed when I say Tool Scraper. Air Balloon, Ball Guy, Marnie, and all these trainers, except for Prof Research and Boss's Orders, have a full art trainer in this set, which is cool, but it's one sort of weak point of, oh, he's sneaking to them. Before I get onto that, I want to go through the last bit because it's like the most boring. Do you understand how that works? Oh, but I can't show you that page. We're gonna have to skip a page, and I'm just gonna show you the other thing that makes Master Setting Shiny Star V. What's that? Oh my lord. The other thing that makes Shiny Star V Master Set really difficult, and that's this Reverse Holo. What were these? These were like oily cards because they kind of looked a little bit oily. This is what makes finishing the set really difficult. Not impossible, but just a little bit tedious because you've got these other cards and you'd get one of these per pack, and they kind of have like this oil tint to them. I reckon if I ramp up the lighting, we're gonna be able to see just very clearly. You can see like, can you see it? I mean, and this was, you can kind of see it there, okay? And this was one thing that I'd say is like you deduct points from the set overall if I was gonna rate it, is that the Reverse Holo just missed. like you can't even see it, which is a bit disappointing. And because you can't see it, it doesn't feel fun to find them. It just felt like I was like another thing, another box you had to tick. I like them a lot in VMAX Climax, mainly because they're much more pronounced. So an Ultra Shiny GX had the awesome cracked holos style, but it wasn't even in like the peak of Pokemon card hype. So it wasn't even like printing difficulties made it hard to have a really cool style of reverse. Like it just wasn't there. Like it just wasn't good. Now, you only get the reverses for commons and uncommons, and you can see I'm only missing like a spot few. I think in total I'm missing 6. You got 1 there, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say it's more than 6 now, 5, 6. Actually, no, it's close to 6 to 10, I'm going to say. And oh, the rest of them are in another binder, and that's because this set is so huge. I couldn't even, but that's also because I got like, okay, you'll see in a second why. You'll see in a second why I haven't been able to fill this with the cards from the main set. It's because I started putting in other rare cards in it, and then I sort of mucked up the order a little bit. These are some double shinies, and these are some double amazing rares. Trust me, I got way more than this because, like I said, I opened up about, I'm gonna say like 30 boxes of Shiny Star V. But yeah, this in theory should fit every single card if you order it logically. But I didn't order it logically. I ordered it a little bit funny. You're gonna see why. So I guess if we go to this page here, you'll see the Trainer Full Arts. And this is like, I like the Trainer Full Arts from this set. I'm actually in the middle of editing a tier list for them. I like them, but they just weren't enough. And like the best ones are clearly Skyla, Poker Kid, Marnie, and Ball Guy, and Birdkeeper. As he points to 5 of the 9, he says the best ones was most of them. Actually, the Pearson, look, they're all good. It's easy to say the worst ones. It's the Gym Trainer, and I guess Carlis. I like it. Just okay. You know what? They're all good except for Gym Trainer. The Gym Trainers suck, but there just wasn't enough. Like I feel like they could have put more. There's a lot in GX Tag All Stars. Like there's heaps. I think there's something like 20, maybe 25, which is a really good number. And I know this was the first set for the first high class pack for the block, but I feel like they could have just put maybe another 5 or 6 and it would have made it just a little bit more fun. Now, Poker Kid is unique because it has a holo texture style that we've only seen on one other card. And that other card is, I'm pretty sure, the Eevee GX Rainbow Rare. So you can see there's like these hearts on it. If I get the angle right, you can see there's like a heart texture around there. And that makes this card really cool, I think, anyway. I just think cards that have like a hidden texture style to them, they're very underrated. I'm just trying to be very careful with this because, you know, I like to be careful with all the cards in my collection. I bought a few doubles of this because I just thought it had like a unique, it's just got a unique style that I just was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind having another 1 or 2 of those because historically, Trainer Full Arts from these GX, from these high class packs, they get very, very valuable very quickly, very suddenly. I like the Rose. The Rose is all right. It's better than his full art from, geez, which set is it? I feel like it's from Infinity Zone. It's better than that because it's funny. It's got character. Texture isn't anything really to write home about, but the illustration's cool. He's got a dad bod, and that's literally about it. It looks like Poketage from the Poketage YouTube channel. Taj, I'm not calling you fat. I'm just saying like, wow, how do we do this? I'm just saying like, you have strong similarities to Rose. I know he's not going to get mad about that because he's proud of that. Moving on, Skyla. This is an underrated card from this set, and you're going to see why. I mean, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is with this card. It's ridiculous how the Marnie is like 500, 400, 500 USD, and then you got the Skyla that's worth basically a fraction of that. I'd say it's like $50, $60. For crying out loud, it's Skyla. But like also Skyla is a historically popular gym leader. So from a generation that is like super criminally underrated. So where my Clara stands at. Have I been calling her Clara the whole time? I've been calling it, it's Skyla. Man, if I've been calling her Clara that entire bit, I don't even know. Do I even delete it? I think I'm just gonna have to own it. Carlis. I don't rate this card that much, but it's got character. It's got Spunk by Hitoshi Ariga. So I'm basically doing the tier list video now again. But the main card that gets everyone cuckoo crazy on this set is Marnie. Now, this is basically, there's a couple things. Marnie, really popular character in Japan and around the world, but especially in Japan. But the card is like super ultra playable. It's a staple in most decks. You will see Marnie as a card in basically every single deck. It's a really nice card though. And the other third to the storm, have I been like putting a little spittle on it? No, I haven't. The third component as to why this card is just so crazy valuable is because it's illustrated by Kouki Saitou, who is an artist that has I'd say a cult following. You know, there's a lot of collectors out there that are just like purely Naoki Saitou collectors, so they will go cuckoo crazy for anything he draws, especially if it's a really popular character. So this is the best card from the set, and I know that, and most people know that, and I was like, you know what, it's the best card from the set, we're gonna have to do something about that. And I did, and I'll show you in a minute once we go through the shinies, because this is the other cool thing about Shiny Star V. That's the reason why it's called Shiny Star V, is because it has a lot of shiny Pokemon in it. And these are actually quite difficult. They're another difficult component to finish in the set because there are so many of them. I have got gaps. You got a nice full page here. That's pretty cool. But then you got this one where I'm missing like 6. Is that 6? No, it's 5. He can't even count. The best ones from this set, definitely the Suicune. And this is in terms of like most valuable and most popular. So I really like, I mean, I basically like all of them. You can't go wrong with baby shinies. They are very cool. The Scorbunny is very cute. The Reboot is very cute. I like the Scorbunny probably the most on this page. And then the Suicune. Galarian Darumaka is cool too. Although I never really did like the green colorway on them. The Snom, the Frostmoth is really nice. The Ace-Q is cool. The Cramorant is cool. Like, this is like classic line here. Not so much the Sobble there, but the Drizzle and the Italian. I mean, I actually kind of want English versions of them too, so I can run them in my deck. I run Palkia Visa, so I wouldn't mind putting those in it. Big gap here, which is a bit of a shame. The Rotom's cool. I think Rotom and the Morpeko were a couple of the first to be revealed and got people very hyped. Damn, those were the good old days when okJLUV's channel basically started. I'd say about 3 or 4 months before Shiny Star V dropped. Those definitely were, they were the very good old days. And then what else do we have? We get closer to the back. We've got Dark types. Coughing is really cool. The Galarian Wheezing is actually really cool too. The Meowth is cool. They're all cool. Like, this is cool. But I have a lot of gaps because you'd only get 3 of these per box. And I never found a Shiny Star V God Pack, which was a shame. It's not hard to finish this component of a master set. It just takes a little bit of time. And these are probably like $5 to $10 each. If you were looking at something like the Suicune, as a Suicune is probably about the $15, $20 mark. They're not too ridiculously expensive, but you know, if you're going to buy 10 at a go, you're looking at a, you know, 100, 150 bucks that you're dropping in one go, which can be a little bit daunting for some people, especially if you're missing the other cards from the set, which are not these two, but these ones here, which I am missing. And that's why I said before the video, I'm like, I'm going to go back and I'm probably going to buy the cards that I'm missing from the set because I am missing a few of the shiny V and VMAXs. I've got the critical ones, like the ones that you need to get before it gets a little bit too late, which is the Charizard and the Charizard VMAX. So should I show you? I guess I'll show you the Charizard V. There it is. All right, so Charizard V, which honestly, I'm gonna go out here and say I like more than the Charizard VMAX because it's a little bit more subtle. I never found it in English, but I did find the shiny Charizard VMAX, which was kind of fun. You can see them in the corner there, but really just look at this. So good. I like the stars on these. Like, I like how they put the shiny flash, sparkle, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, on top of like the really cool texture in the background and the Pokemon itself being shiny. This is a nice touch, having the sparkle there too. There's a really nice holo that I guess I haven't really noticed looking at. Can we capture that? In hands, Jarvis, in hands. Can you capture this like, oh, you can. Look at the flame on the tail. And this is just a level of detail that you just don't see in the English version of the card. Really clean. Just a fantastic, and it's just like another level that makes the cards just even cooler. So that's the shiny Charizard V. You can see even just without zooming in and bringing the center scorch up, you can see it's just got an incredible amount of detail on it. Did I put that in right? Oh my lord, I did. Number 1 rule of doing a master set video, don't damage your master set as you film it, as he bends the Charizard VMAX. This is an incredible card. If you see this in hand, the Japanese version compared to the English, oh boy, the word I want to say I can't because it'll demonetize, but look at that. Holy moly. It just looks so sparkly. Like that just hits every like trigger in your brain that likes to see cool things at once. It's just like, hey, do you like, oh man, I really wish I put the other light in, but you can see, oh, do you like sparkly things? We heard you like sparkles. We're going to put some sparkles on your sparkles. The flames on the Charizard VMAX as well, they got the exact same thing that you were seeing in the shiny Charizard V. So they have like, we have to enhance again. We have to go back. You can see there, they got like a speckled, cracked sort of hollow texture. There, right there. Look at that. You can see just, oh. And then you got the silver as well with a million different bits of glitter on it too. That's a really nice touch that I think is absent in the English version. I'll pull up the English version and you can see the thumbprint holographic or texturing. It's just not the same. There's kind of the same thing if I work for the angle instead of dismissing it. Like kind of the same thing. But if you go back to this other bit and can we go side by side and show them? Look at this. So brazen. Like it's, oh, look at that. Like, come on, you can see that right there. Like I'm hitting them on a very similar angle, but you cannot see that same level of detail in the English version. It is just, it's so much more pronounced. So you can see I've got another shiny Charizard VMAX that I bought. I'm gonna say I bought the dip, which is super cringe, but I did buy the dip when it came to that card. I bought the dip on a few other cards in this set too. So we'll go to the next page, and don't judge me, but I did do that. You have got the other V and VMAXs here, but the main crazy thing about this page is all these Marnies. Now, this originally started off as a joke, okay? Because a friend of mine, Poketage on the Poketage YouTube channel, when this set dropped, got really excited about finishing a page, 9-pocket page of Marnie. And at the time I thought that was crazy because it was like, that was a different era where it was like, oh my Lord, like one card's worth $200. Like this is crazy. Like this is not sustainable. How could they possibly be worth this much for so long? And so back then, $200 for a modern rare Japanese card was just unheard of. And so Taj was going around and buying them up super cheap wherever he could, right? And I was like, damn, Taj, you crazy for that. And then as time went on and I started to see other Pokemon cards, other modern cards, like stuff from Rapid Strike and Single Strike Master become more valuable very close to their release, I was like, okay, perhaps this isn't an abnormality. Maybe this is going to be a trend. Marnie was still hovering around about that low 150 to 250 AUD price point. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try and do what Taj is doing. Every now and then I'll just buy another Marnie if I see a bargain. And then slowly, I would see more and more bargains over on eBay Australia, which is just notorious for finding cheap Japanese cards, to the point where I probably had about 6 or 7. And when I got to about 6 or 7, I was like, okay, well, if we're going to go 6 or 7, we might as well go 9. And then I got to 9, so you can see there's 8 here, and then if I go back, that is 9. And then I was like, we need to go further, and I bought another 3. So in total, I got 12, which is crazy. The other 3 aren't in Australia, they're in the States. And every now and then I kind of want to buy another one, but I feel like the final window of opportunity for Marnie from Shiny Star V has gone, because she is rocketing up in price and Shiny Star V is not coming back. It's well and truly gone. So for that reason, I think the boat has sailed, unless maybe I find someone selling it for less. Hopefully they haven't watched this video, because if they have, then they'll be like, hey, you know what? I don't want to get my card sniped by okJLUV. They'll stop. So that's why the Marnie journey has basically ended, and that's why I have so many. Now don't judge me. The other cool thing about Shiny Star V, gold cards. Hey guys, how do you feel about gold cards? They came back in VMAX Climax, and I think they debuted in this set. And I thought they were really cool. The one thing that they were lacking though, and this is for the V cards, or the VMAX cards, I think Eternatus VMAX is the exception. The V cards have no color except for gold. Now the VMAX gold cards, the rare ones like Pikachu, Rayquaza, Calyrex, they fixed that. There's like a tinge. If it's Mew, it's kind of pink. If it's Pikachu, it's got yellow, which is hard to see. If it's Rayquaza, it's got green. If it's Shadow Rider Calyrex, it's got purple. That's something that I wish they had done with these cards. They didn't, but it is what it is. But yes, you've got Eternatus V and VMAX, and then you got Zacian V and Zamazenta V. And those are the gold cards from the set. They were always really very hyped to find, especially being the first of their kind in the Sword Shield block. I was super hyped. The other thing I did, and this is the last little bit, is I did the same thing that I did for Marnie with Skyla. And I've probably got more Skyla. There's a bunch of Skyla, I don't know where they are. I'm continuing actually to buy Skyla full arts from Shiny Star V, because if you go and just look at other sets like GX Tag Team All-Stars, it is the go-to. For this example, there's always one card that's worth more than the rest. That's Sightseer. Pokerev didn't recognize her the other day when he found her. I was like, damn, dude found the best card from the set, and it was just like, hey, the trainer. From Tag Team All-Stars, it's Sightseer. From Shiny Star V, it's Marnie. But that's not the only rare card. There are other rare cards. In Tag Team All-Stars, the other rare card's Erica. And then who else do you have? Blue. So in Shiny Star V, I totally reckon it's Skyla. So, you know, if you've got a couple of Skyla lying about, hold on to them. If you're seeing them cheap, don't buy them. Let me buy them. But that's about it. This is my Shiny Star V Master Set. It's incomplete. And my studio is incomplete. I'm working on it. That's why you haven't seen me once in this video. I'm going to go buy a bookshelf today and set that up. And maybe in like a week or two, we'll be ready to go again. But yeah, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. I'm okJLUV, and I love you, kind of.